through these doors. Presented by First Community Credit Union.
I'm always a kind of a quote guy. Always, they've resonated with me. So we don't use it as much. When the kiddos were littler, we would have it more and talk about some of the quotes we'd put up and what the lesson was behind them, working or being a good person or something new to talk about versus just hockey, so that we had some different ideas of things we were talking outside the game too. Yeah, well, that was one of the reasons when we chose to come back was loved UND, and we'd played pro for 11 years and I'd coached for a few years in pro and moved in a lot of different places. So the fact that we can maybe come to one spot, put some roots down and try to have our kids grow up in one town was important to us. And we were hoping that we'd be able to be in one spot for a little bit longer. We definitely didn't know it'd be 2 decades. I remember when I came down on my recruiting trip, it was like, I remember Kerry Eads gave me this huge parka, because I came down in January and I had this kind of little thin winter light coat or whatever, and I remember him like saying, "Jax, here, take this," and he gave me one of those huge parkas with the fur and the hood around, and it was like a blizzard, so Kerry kind of hooked me up. Doesn't seem like that long ago when we were playing against Denver that night. I remember Dave was Hack was suspended, so Kerry Eads and I were running the bench, and that was the day that Kerry had the twins on February 15th, 2008.
Well, I have a different perspective because I was in the hospital having twins. Of course, I couldn't get a hold of Dane. I couldn't get a hold of my parents. Thankfully, everybody made it in time. The twins arrived, and Dane lasted for about 45 minutes to an hour at the hospital and had to leave to go back and coach a hockey game.
When we built this house, we just wanted a big kind of grand gathering area, so everybody was in the same room and hanging out, and it's been a little bit quieter lately. You know, our oldest son is off at UND and living out of the house now, and one of our twins, Dallas, has moved away, so it's just Kerry and I and Lila and our dog, so it's not quite as full of life.
He is 110% at all times. He is the best father and dad. He immediately is loving his kids, playing sports with his kids. He is such a leader type of personality. He's so positive all the time, and I do think that he will do a fantastic job. So I'm proud in the fact, and more importantly, honored that he just gets the opportunity to do it.
The old Jackson Arena in here, so we have between Dallas and Dylan and I, we've shot in a lot of pucks down here. It's small now, but for a long time, we played knee hockey back in the day when the kids were little, but probably for the last decade or so, we've been just, shooting pucks down here. And Dylan was always a big Pittsburgh Penguin fan back in the day. His favorite player was Sidney Crosby, so we get the Penguins motif going down here a little bit. Beating the walls up pretty good. Quite a few holes, but I guess someday we'll refurbish. This looks like more like someone's head got drilled through there a little bit. I don't know if that was before we got, obviously it's not in fine form right now, but yeah, there's probably some battles that have gone on down here over the years for sure. Quick regroup, here we go! There's not too many moments when I just think about being the head coach at UND. When you do that, it's kind of humbling, and it's, yeah, you say, it's a big task ahead of us, but there is a moment at the end where you say, hey, now you're the guy where the buck stops at, and you got to make the hard decisions. You got to have the tough conversations. All right, Swanee, go, Swanee, go, Swanee. Picked about 10 or 11 players up, and kind of since April 1st, and it was a lot of work. A lot of sitting in people's kitchens, talking about our vision and about our ideas about what we thought the University of North Dakota hockey team could be. You guys gotta get off the wall. We're going here to the net, trying to get a screen and a tip here, okay? I don't know if there's ever a perfect time or not, it's a hard job. You know, I've seen with Dave and Brad, the demands of the job, and you know, there's some pressure on it for sure. It is still just hockey. You know, if you connect with your players and you invest in your guys, I think in the end players know that. You know, with our staff, with our players, if we're all buying in and we're all working on a day-to-day basis to get better, just you know, with a humble kind of hard work and focused attitude, how tight of a group can we become, and how great can we be? You know, we're part of something special here. We know we're part of something bigger than ourselves. How can we just check our egos? How can we just buy in and be selfless and dig in and see what we can do to kind of add to the tradition here? And how can we, you know, put our own stamp on it about being, you know, the most competitive, the most hardworking, the most kind of focused bunch. Try to, you know, add to the lore of all the great players and coaches that came before us.
Job there, good job.
First Community Credit Union is proud to be the financial partner of North Dakota Athletics. Whether you're cheering for the Fighting Hawks on the field, court, or ice, First Community Credit Union wants you to show your school spirit with their exclusive UND cards. Join FCCU in celebrating this winning partnership. See you in the stands, and let's go Hawks!
We talked about April 1st, you know, Dylan and I sitting there and kind of chatting about our direction. And then when we got Bryn Chiswick on board and had Matt Smaby added, Dave Haxtell sat in our war room with us, and we kind of talked about what is really important to us, what, when our program's been at its highest point, what have we done as far as identity and culture. And we really tried to define that, talk about it in great detail, and then try to pick players that embody those things. Going through the transition in the spring was a challenging time for our guys. The fact that these guys were the leaders of kind of keeping our group together and wanting to be here and wanting to kind of start a new era is super exciting. I'm extremely thankful for the leadership these guys showed, and a lot of our key guys have coming back. 15 new players out of 27 on our team. There's going to be a lot of coming together, a lot of synergies to be found, a lot of guys kind of finding their role and where they fit in and how it all comes together. Our biggest challenges, I think, this year are molding all these sharp young guys and really good hockey players to become an outstanding team. That's what it's all about. But my biggest excitement for the year is to see how much we can come together, how much we can grow, how selfless we can be, and how committed can we be to the process of getting better. They've been going hard for 5 weeks, doing crazy hard stuff to try to build our team. That is a great building block, and if we continue to just have that mindset, that's what's going to lead us to success. After my family, these guys and those banners are the most important thing in my life. We will do everything to try to attain it. We'll put in the work, we'll do the preparation, we'll have the commitment to do it. You can take that to the bank. You can count on that we'll be doing that and bringing that every day, so that when we get in those biggest moments, we're ready to rise up for that challenge.
Here we go, ready? 1, 2, 3, right?
Through these doors, presented by First Community Credit Union. Life is better with community.